Hey everyone, ice howlers out there. Welcome to this is our first time ever doing a video like this. But I'm Jason, and we have over
Hi,
here.
hi, Mark. I'm stepping on your toes again.
Well, no, I was giving you the. We're not
The,
cutting this part out. We're not. This we're showing
no,
like
this one's
how
making
we
it this
how
time.
yeah, this is how we roll.
Yeah.
No, I want to get on here and I wanted to do like what you all have to understand is like Mark and I, we do these Zoom calls and FaceTiming very, very often.
Yeah, about once or twice a week usually.
Yeah, about once or twice a week. And we always have really great conversations. You never know where they're going to go with, but a lot of times we talk about, um, band related stuff or, uh, or He-Man action figures,
Yes, because they're
or
here. They're all over the place. They're
or even
here.
just or even just like a minute ago talking about the sad fucking state of the world. But we're not going to get into that right now.
No, definitely not, because there's better things to talk about out there.
Yes, like what we're going to be talking about today. As of tomorrow, I'm not really sure when. I don't know if I'll try to get this uploaded day of or maybe Wednesday. But Wave 2 of Legions of Metal 2025 is being unveiled tomorrow. We played Legions of Metal 2024.
And yeah, six.
Yeah, and we want, and I felt like it was necessary for us. Like, why don't we come on here and talk about our experience that we had as a band doing Legions of Metal? Mark, what were your thoughts about like how everything was coming together at that time?
Well, I was to the degree of like, okay, well, we had been getting together regularly for about 5 or 6 months at that point. There was something that we had done where we didn't get together for like a month or two, but because of something going on, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh shit, this is real. We had to seriously look at each other and say, okay, it's time to put up or shut up. What are we doing? Because we've got this invitation and here's what it is. And everybody stepped up.
When we got that email from Bob, we hadn't had any other shows lined up yet.
No,
So,
not
so
no, not at all.
that was at that time going
The
to be our
debut.
first show.
That was
That
going
was
to
going
be
to
the
be the Ice
debut
Howl
Ice
debut.
Howl. And
But
then
we picked up a show.
at Black Circle on March 1st
Yes,
with Wizard Death.
Throne of Iron and Cursed Blade.
And that was fun. That got the jitters out, I think.
Now,
And
what do you think if we would have played Legions first?
I think it would have. I don't know. I If we would have played it first, the jitter still probably would have been there, but I think the people who made the trek from Black Circle to Chicago, because there's quite a few people in there that are in the scene that
Yeah,
word of mouth travels, and it's just like, hey, you should have seen these awesome people, dudes and dudettes of Ice Howl. I know she hates being called dude. I hate that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zeba. I'm sorry. Uh, but I look at it as gender neutral. But no, and the word of mouth got out, I think. And the with that, there with the online presence of us promoting Legions of Metal and the Black Circle show, I think word of mouth got out and it proved it that night when we were playing.
yeah, I agree. and I do think that like for me personally, like that was my first show coming back in a band since like 2016 was
The Black
2024
Circle show.
was the Black Circle show. And I I think that if my comeback show would have been Legions of Metal, I don't know if I would have been as ready for that.
Yeah,
But
that's a lot to throw on.
yeah, and that was the crazy thing about it is just it was just that whole experience of just
Sure.
the build up to the moment where we got our Airbnb booked, we got our bearings together, and we made the trip up to Chicago. And by the way, that was my first time going to Chicago. So that was my first experience, and I'm glad that we actually um, had other people in the band who had been there before.
Sure.
So that kind of made things slightly better, just
Right.
so we're not like all going into it like blind. And that was my
Oh
first time going to
no.
Reggie's too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. My first time up at Reggie's. Uh, my first time like hanging out in Chicago as an adult, but I'd been there several times through there as with Overload when we played Blades of Steel um, a couple of years ago, and then I went there several times with my dad when I was younger. But other than that, it was first time as an adult just hanging out in the Chicago area. It was pretty rad.
Yeah. And so it wouldn't be a band story unless you you have the
Oh,
travels
here
up
we go.
to you have the travels up to there, in which I have to say at one point. So um in our vehicle. So if you are unaware, at that time we were only playing as a four piece.
Part two.
Yeah, so
Only for
like
you,
zoomed
it's like this.
yeah, Zoom is completely just poof
Shit
on
out.
us.
It shit out on us, and that's why there was a weird cut there. Um, but no, getting the Airbnb was nice. Getting the trip up, so it was you and Kyle and in your car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We of course we drove up, and then um, you and Zeba drove up,
Yes.
and so we kind of did a thing where we met there. But at one point, we met up at a gas station in which we got directions. It's the PF Chang's.
Yeah, you got to get it's the PF Chang's. You can't miss it. And it was a Panda Express.
And Kyle and I, we were like, where the fuck is? Oh,
The
excuse
PF
me. Sorry.
Chang's.
Like there is no PF Chang's, and then we're like, well, there's a Panda Express, and then sure enough,
Yeah, it was like the Speedway next to the PF Chang's. Um, but yeah, it was totally a Panda Express. You know, and I'm like, you can't miss it. It's right there. Because I turn into Matt Foley when I'm on the road sometimes. It's like, in a van down by the river. I'm just like, move it. Or Patches O'Houlihan, you gotta get angry, you gotta get mean, come
gotta
on.
get mean.
Which, poor Seth at the awesome pro photo shoot, he couldn't keep a straight face because I kept messing with him. Um,
Well,
but
and
no,
okay, so also going back to that too, like so Seth joined the band shortly before we played Legions of Metal,
I
and
think
we
he
were
had
kind
two practices.
Yeah, he had like two practices, and we were kind of at one point being like, Seth, do you think that you could possibly pull this off? And he was kind of like, I don't think so. And we're like, okay, we'll do this as a four piece. And then two, we also had an injury in the band as
Yes.
well.
Zeba had slipped in some mud and she didn't break her ankle. It was a really severe sprain, and she was in an air cast for the the padded boot for the duration of the pretty much the summer even.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
Uh,
and and she rocked it though. She did the job, and vocals blazed.
Absolutely. Let's say like there's a new band that's getting ready to play Legions this year who has never been there, who's same boat as us. What could we tell them what to expect when they get there?
Um, Stay for the
In,
show.
in your opinion,
Stay for the show. Have a good time. Bring your A game. You know, um, hang out, meet people, you know, do all the things and all the stuff. Get as many pictures as you can because it is honestly, I would have to say that going to Legions this past year for me was probably the closest approximation to a religious experience that I've ever had.
same here.
And like I completely I don't know if I shared this on the Metal Forge or not, but I completely I almost broke down watching Tower Hill because that's been a band that I've been following for, since pretty much the beginning. And getting to see them not only playing a show with them, it was badass because, it's like they were on stage and I texted my mom and thanked her for getting me into music.
Oh,
And, that, yeah, it's been a long road but that's where it all made sense to me, I guess. That's what I take from Legions.
well, I saw Darren Wall from Greyhawk post a thing the other day about Bob being like Bob's a good dude, you know, and he's like, and he said Legions of Metal was Greyhawk's first festival appearance, and I was like, and look at where Greyhawk is, you
Sure.
know, I mean, look at the other band, I mean, look at what Legions does, like Legions is a I mean, I could say the word tastemaker, but it's more like it's almost like this is the
They
festival
have they
that you
they
need
have
to
their
do.
he has his finger on the pulse is what it is. Like Bob has his finger on the pulse with everything music related, and he knows just the bands to put with who. That's not
Yeah,
as far as a stretch, that you could put an Ice Howl and a Viper Witch and a Mourn the Light and a Dawnbringer and a Tower Hill and an Owlbear and Hyrax all together.
yeah.
And like with this year with Crimson Glory and High Spirits and the other bands that he's announced so far, you know,
Mystigard,
yeah,
Valkyrie's Fire. I'm sorry if I got that name wrong, but uh, but yeah, I mean, it all.
there's it's all going to be an awesome, awesome deal. I can't wait to see who's going to be playing where. And with it being a week after the birthday show, I I might be up there. I don't know.
I've been pondering and contemplating whether I could make that trip or not as well. Because part of me wants to, just because it's like I was telling Kyle the other day, I kind of and to Seth, I was like, I kind of want to go to Legions
As a
again
fan.
to to just be a fan,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
so it's just like and also too, it's just like to also show appreciation, being like, hey,
Yeah,
like you got us here, and we want to keep supporting this festival because this festival is important
it is.
to to I mean it's to to heavy metal in the United States and to United States and even Canada because Chicago's close enough. It's a
Sure.
big deal, you
Well,
know.
and having Canadian bands come down like Tower Hill and bands come down and play. So yeah, absolutely. And one of the cool things that I thought was the second floor for the musicians
Yeah,
to bring your stuff
the
in.
VIP lounge.
Yeah, the music the green room for the musicians,
Yeah,
the wings were great.
dude,
The
the food was so good,
It's probably the best catering I think I've had in a long time.
dude. And also too, just like okay, so here's some good behind the scenes for our list for anyone who's watching this video. So, dude, like at one point, like we were just sitting at a table having dinner with Albert,
Yeah, just hanging
chatting it up,
out.
chatting it up with Jeff Taft, and
Yeah.
you know that's the first time I got to meet Jeff, and you know meeting the person you see online and then meeting them in person, or you had these interactions online, but then you finally meet the person, which we had that a few times at Legions. That was, I
Oh,
think
sure.
that's one of the coolest parts. But being up there in that lounge and looking across, and you can see um you could see Christian from Night Cobra over here, and um you
Chris
can see just
Black.
other you see all these other bands that you're sharing. They're just like we're sharing the same room with all these
Hmm.
incredible people.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah. And mine, that was crazy because a lot of these people I've had on the show, on the Metal Forge, and we've either been on, it's all up until last year was pretty much all audio. So it was just like, I'm not recording any video or anything. And now I kind of wish I did if I had the space for it. But a lot of those people I was actually meeting in person, like RF Trainer from uh Tower Hill and Jeff
yeah,
Taft and and getting to meet people in person again that you've met, like Amy from Solicitor. We've met a
yeah,
few
we
times in
met Amy.
person, and the awesome Babe Finder General brand.
Yeah, I mean it was
That's
just
the other thing. The upstairs with all the vendors was so awesome too. You want some pretty cool patches, you want cool enamel pins, that they've got them.
dude.
There's leather stuff, there's CDs, so
Yeah,
much
dude. That
stuff.
okay. So that's the other thing too. It's like anyone watching this. If you plan on going to Legions, take some money with you.
Hmm.
Take some money with you because there's a lot of bands that are going to have a lot of merch, and then like Mark just said, you also have the upstairs with the vendors. And I mean, I think there was even like a fantasy book a vendor,
Yeah.
and I mean, there was. I mean, it wasn't just all like music stuff. Like there was other stuff there too,
Yeah,
and
like there was
like
Amy's Babe
like
Finder
Amy's
General leather
Bayfinder
leather
General.
work. which they also had back patches and other patches, like regular, like logo patches of bands. There was bandanas in at one point. There was some other shirts, like concert tees and stuff. There was some
and records. Yeah,
CDs
CDs
and
and records,
records.
tapes.
Absolutely. And that's totally cool to have as well. It's like a heavy metal swap meet as well.
Yeah, I mean that's why I mean, oh, it was just, but you equate it to like a religious experience. I mean, like same here. Like I never thought I would play to a crowd like that in a legendary venue such as Reggie's.
Sure.
Like Reggie's has always been a place I've heard about, and I was like, yeah, if you're in a metal band, you want to play at Reggie's, you know. I mean, and it's just like we got that chance to do that, and I hope that one day we get asked to come back again and play main stage. That'd be awesome. Now, with that being said, looking back, now that we have some shows under our belt, looking back, I wish we could have performed the way we do now at Legions.
Oh, sure. With
Yeah, I
Seth
mean,
and
yeah.
yeah, that
Okay, I
picture
mean,
is great, but I would love to have Seth in that picture.
dude, no, not not just that, but like we've gotten so much better. Like, and this is for. I mean, I'm not trying to pat my own back or trying to toot our own horn here, but like where
We've
we
definitely
were,
grown.
where we were March 1st of 2024 to where we are now is like night and day.
Hmm.
We are almost a completely different band now, and we now have a confidence that we didn't necessarily have then just because we were new.
Sure.
And now this feels so natural to us and it feels good. Like just looking back, it's like I want to play Reggie's again with how we performed at our Unto Others show.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And that show was a firing on all cylinders. And and I and and I think it's because, it was the night. It was a Tuesday night. It was November. It was, you know, everybody was there. All the people and all the things. It was the talk of the town. Nearly sold out Black Circle show on a Tuesday. That's cool shit. It really is.
Yeah,
And
and we arguably played our best set at that
yeah,
show as well.
I
So I
agree.
mean, yeah, and I mean, yeah, I wish we could. I would if I could go back in time, I would like to have the performance at Legions like we perform now.
Sure.
And and because I said
Because
because
I
like
was
you can,
definitely nervous at Legions.
and I was too because I said that was my second show.
Right. And I could definitely feel the leg doing the shake thing and everything. I get that. But just you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like there's not really much more to talk about with Legions, but I do think that we need to talk about one more thing
Sure.
that and that was during our performance, having Dwayne from More Than Light come up on stage with us.
Absolutely. Which
We
there is a
we
video.
can't skip over that.
No, definitely not. We played Wars here, which comes from the Darkness from Beyond album. And Dwayne does the guest vocals on there along with you. Uh, Now, does he do all of the vocals or do you all split vocals on the album?
On the album, we split the vocals.
Okay, but he did them all at the show.
He did them all at the show.
Yeah, and it was totally cool because they got to do their set. He got to jump on with us. And we got it was just totally cool because I have a video of it where there's four
Yep.
different people, four different camera angles of people filming from the crowd that I put together, and with the room audio, it sounds pretty cool, and it's one of my favorite moments. I'm
Yeah.
actually somebody actually took a from their video of me and made a GIF of where I'm doing a headbang on the side of the stage, and I'm just like, that's totally cool
Yeah, you're just
that
like,
somebody made a GIF out of me. Yeah, that it's just like a repeated headbang of mine, and I felt so flattered that they sent it to me.
but no, I mean, yeah, but yeah, we can't skip over our discussion about legions without mentioning that.
No,
And
absolutely not.
we love Dwayne, we love everyone, and more in the light. Uh, Dear friends of ours. I mean, Dwayne and I, we go back. So and and it's odd because it's like I can't remember who. I mean, I don't know if it was maybe you that said that like you thought that maybe like I was the Dwayne of our area
Yeah, no,
because
absolutely. Because everybody knows Dwayne and everybody knows you. So yeah, I definitely think that you're the Dwayne of this area. I mean, that you there's bands that you know about that like nobody else. It's like I'll come to you and be like, "Hey, do you know these people?" And you're like, "Yeah, absolutely." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "How do you know this?" And you just had, you do. You come back and you're just like, what this? Yeah, didn't I think they were such and such and such and such? I'm like, yeah, that's who I'm looking at. And for me, it's like you're just like, puny, puny
but
human.
well, hey, but no, but like, do we were just talking about this, and now this is the part of the video, everyone, where you see like this is part of like the conversations, like the actual conversations that Mark and I have. But like,
Yeah,
but then there's the other part of that too, Mark. That like we were talking about, like Seth and Kyle and I, we were driving home from the photo shoot yesterday, and we were talking about like all of our strengths, like each of our individual strengths, because I was watching a future show you have coming up on the Metal Forge, where you were discussing about how nice it is for every member of a band to have their own unique talents and skills, and they all come together, and it just makes an experience so much better. And like and we were talking about like your strengths is that you are the networking master. You are the networking master, and you also have like this knack for media.
I
and
try.
and
It's a pursued interest, and Bob Ross says that talent is just pursued interest.
well, sure, yeah, yeah. And
No, I thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm going to cut you off, but like, it actually relates to a movie. I was in it, and it's oddly enough, it's this serendipitous thing. Saturday night, was it Saturday? No, Friday night, maybe. I was watching The Last Crusade.
okay.
And it comes to the part where it's like, oh, it's obvious he's giving it to Marcus Brody. We'll find him. He sticks out like a sore thumb. He's like, the hell you will. Marcus blend in, disappear. He's got friends in every village from here to the Sudan. Then that's kind of me. I've got friends in every village from here to the Sudan, and I blend in and disappear as much as I can.
it's
And
it, it's true, like taking us back to legions. It's so true. The amount of people I saw come up to Mark and be like, "There's Mark Jackson," and I was just sitting there like, "Do you know every fucking person in this place?" Like, and then you're like, "Yeah, I've had this person on my show. I've had this person on my show. I've been good friends with this person for years."
and the bad
And
thing is like it's like Oh yeah, I had them on in February of 2021, I believe. And it's like pull out the phone, look it up. It's like, yeah, it was February 21st.
It is like, and
And
Mark even
like
has the dates memorized.
being able to archive my episode, my 300 episodes or whatever, 300 plus 6 years of my life. I can just on, it's like media on call.
Which, by the way, everyone, go check out the Metal Forge
Thank
podcast
you.
and check out the Flame Keeper Network. I am going to be making some appearances on there periodically this year. So with precious metals, yeah, yeah, look right there where Mark is pointing at.
Right
I don't know
there.
if he's
Flame
going to be here
Keeper.
or
Yeah.
here. Flamekeeper.vip right there. Flamekeeper Network.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that about wraps up our discussion about legions. Um, to all the bands who might be checking this out, because we're talking about legions and it's going to be on everyone's mind coming up here again this coming week. Um, have fun. Uh,
Yeah.
take this opportunity to make some friends
Sure.
and and to
And
do things, do heavy metal things.
do heavy metal things, live life, metal every day. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. Also, make sure you sound off in the comments below who you would like to see at Legions or who you would like to see Ice Howl maybe perform with going
Yes.
forward.
Also, tell them now in the comments that, hey, request Ice Howl back to Legions,
Yeah. Main
because we would love
stage.
to.
Hashtag main stage Ice Howl.
But
Thank you,
anyway,
everybody.
we love all of you. Thank you for the ongoing support. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, if you want us to do more discussions behind the scenes, let us know, sound off, and we will be glad to do these for you in the future. Also, Mark has a message over here.
Go buy this at Storm Spell Records. Go now.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We love you all again. We'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.